What's up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the TrueShot Guest Spot Podcast, episode number 37. Today, my guest, JT Cavey, which I've always thought it was Cavey, but, you know, hey, we all learn something new every day, am I right? But listen, man, this was one that I was really looking forward to. Right out of the gate, I made it very clear to JT that, ERRA wasn't always kind of my thing, personally. But with their latest record, their self-titled record, I was very pleasantly, I don't want to say surprised, because I know that ERRA is a very talented band, but just in terms of what I like to listen to on a daily basis, it was cool to, get into a new band, because I know that Adam obviously loves ERRA, and I know that Derek loves ERRA as well. So it was really cool to listen to the new record and really enjoy a lot of it, and I think a lot of times, if you're interviewing somebody like JT from ERRA, the host of the podcast, whatever, may try to act like they're a lifelong ERRA savant, if you will, but I'm not. And so I went into that. I just really wanted to get to know JT as a person and also talk about ERRA as well and kind of his whole musical career, starting with the YouTube covers, going to Texas in July, and then going to ERRA. And then, of course, we both figured out, I figured out that we both play World of Warcraft. So that's also something that's really, really cool. And, yeah, man, I think that, we went about almost 2 hours. So I thought that was really, really cool of JT to give me all that time. And there's a lot of really cool stories in here in terms of him touring with As I Lay Dying. And there's just so much good stuff here, as are with all these podcasts, because, of course, all the podcasts are going to be great, am I right? But anyways, I'll shut up and let's get into it. This is my chat with JT Cavey of ERRA. All right, JT Cavey, which I just recently learned that, has taken time out of his busy treehouse building schedule to join us tonight. JT, how's it going, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, no, I just figured out your last name was Cavey because, I'm from the Northeast, so my instinct is to go Cavey. I don't know why, but that's my first instinct.
I'm from Maryland, and nobody has said it like that to me. Actually, that's a lie. I've heard it like that all the time.
Really? I thought that was actually probably I don't know. I guess like it was
that is the normal pronunciation for most people, but it's Cavey. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like when you look at it, it's like cave.
To me, yeah, that makes sense to me. But when I hear the alternative, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, okay. But listen, man, I'm stoked to have you on. I guess obviously I'm not gonna be one of those people that's like, dude, I've been a big ERRA Texas in July fan my whole life. Because that's not really the case. I've recently started to kind of get into ERRA.
I'm gonna give you some credit before you continue and say I've watched I've watched us turn you.
Yes. Well, so we'll get into that too. So that's what I wanted to say too. So I got two other guys in the band, Adam and Derek, who absolutely, they absolutely love ERRA. They like live it. Adam would become Jesse Cash if it was possible. No, I probably won't go that far. But they really love ERRA. And I've always referred to ERRA as a thinking man's band. And I'm not really too much of a thinking man. I just
a band's band.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been really cool to from my vantage point, having, very little background about ERRA to go into, our reaction videos and really kind of experience it in a different way. So I guess to kind of back up to what you were saying, basically people, how this kind of all started, how I got into contact with JT, other than following him, on the streets of Alabama, that definitely happened. But, we did a few reaction videos to your singles, and I believe I saw
all of them.
You did, yeah. No, see, well,
I watched all of them.
Yeah, so that's what I gathered after the comment. I was like, okay, this guy's lurking around now. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a heavy lurker.
So we did a reaction to Scorpion Hymn, and you just commented and you said, I had a feeling that you would like this one to me.
Yeah.
So then from there, I went into your Twitch stream because I've checked out your Twitch stream before. But I wanted to go in there and I gifted a sub and you said, is this because of the comment? I'm like, it's damn right it's because of that comment because I appreciate you watching. So
it's the same network. You got to show some love,
Yeah, for sure. And you've been very kind and gracious since coming into our Twitch stream, and I think that's really nice. So I guess the thing that I'm always still surprised by doing these reaction videos is that people actually watch these that aren't just Blaze Kid 42069 on YouTube. There's actual people in bands and musicians that watch these as well. So it sounds like you watch plenty of reaction videos.
So I actually have one specific channel on YouTube that converted me. And I was like, I don't understand reaction videos. And there are so many. But then I found this guy named No Life Shack.
Okay, I've heard the name, but yeah.
He's a black dude, I think from Kentucky or North Carolina.
Okay.
North Carolina. He's hilarious. His reactions are really good. He's got I love his personality. I love his vibe that he brings to the table. And I'm a big hip hop guy. And his thing is he loves very lyrical and flow heavy rappers, especially one he calls it barology. So I am a barologist as well. I love very wordsmith rappers like Logic and Eminem and Token and NF. So he does a lot of those artists. So I just was addicted to those videos. And then he would do reactions to first time seeing a Gorilla song or Rage Against the Machine, and that was awesome too. So I just kind of fell down this rabbit hole of all right, basically, long story short, I liked the type of videos he did, and then I found other channels doing the same thing. I fell down this rabbit hole of everybody reacting to Lil Dicky freestyles or Logic singles and stuff like that. And then people started doing them from our band with the new record, and I was like, I love these. I watch them all, even if they're from somebody super weird, because that's definitely a thing as well.
True.
But yeah, I mean, it's it only helps us. It's extra promotion. I'm happy when other people are enjoying our creations and shit. So I don't know, it makes me feel good. It's a little ego boost, but it's also just cool to see people's thoughts on what we do. And I don't know, I like them. There's so much different types of content now on streaming services and YouTube. It's just interesting to see how the landscape transforms over time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, especially since you are somebody, because I do a little bit of background, a little bit. I try not to go crazy with it because, I just try to have a nice conversation, a natural conversation. Yeah, so I do know that you had a little bit of a start on YouTube, so you've definitely seen the evolution of it. But no, man, yeah,
for
so
sure.
We'll definitely touch on that because I did go back and I saw a Counterparts vocal cover that you did that was reposted in 2013. But
that's a long story, actually. I'll shorten it, but
yeah, well, I definitely want to talk about that. But no, with the reaction videos though, yeah, we started doing those in November of 2019, so it was even pre-pandemic.
Okay.
So at first, I think a lot of people kind of look at reaction videos as kind of being cheesy or kind of lazy content, that kind of thing.
Depends how you deliver the reaction. There's plenty of channels that literally just watch the video and go, oh, and then they end it.
True. No, we definitely.
But you guys dissect.
Yeah, we try to.
That's what I want.
Without trying to be condescending. I don't think we come off that way.
No, you guys are great, and that's why I was so happy to convert you, is because I knew we had to win you over with certain types of stuff in our music, which is totally fine. Everybody, I don't expect every single person to like everything we do. It's totally normal.
Of course. Yeah. No.
Most of my friends group don't listen to metal and they don't like my music.
Yeah. Well, so I think that's a common thing with anybody in metal is that no one's friends or family. They're like, what are you doing? What's that band thing going on?
It's very rare.
Yeah. They could look at you and be like, how's that band thing you got going on? You got 550,000 monthly listeners. It's listen, I'm not a small fish here. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But no, man, it was really cool because obviously the first single that you guys released was Snowblood, and I was like, oh, okay. I was into that. Mm-hmm. And then House of Glass, I'll be honest with you, lost me a little bit. I know that's your favorite one off the record, only because, again,
that's the eclectic band song, though.
Yeah, Adam's sitting there oh, what is happening?
It's like a math equation.
Yeah, exactly. He's sitting there going, timing out the the time saying he's into it.
Dude, I'm gonna get fucked up by that song live for sure.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna have to practice.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because I've listened to that, and that's actually one of the things that I've listened to it since, because I listened to the full record for a video.
I watched it.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've told you I watch all that shit.
And I'm like, damn, man, like this is gonna be a tough song to do live, but I have a feeling that you can pull it off. I have faith in you.
I have the 80% rule. If I feel like I can do 80% of what it is, then I don't mind working towards perfecting it in the future.
Yeah. And then Okay, now here we go. Now we get into what we call like the meme on the channel is Richard Core. We get into Scorpion. We get into Scorpion him. Yeah. We're actually going to be creating like different Spotify playlists for all the guys in the band that are like Richard Core, Adam Core, Derek Core. But no, when we got to Scorpion him, I was like, okay, this is the one, dude. This is the one. And it was cool to see you comment on that one.
Thought it might be.
Yeah, no, because it was definitely not something that I would have anticipated coming from ERRA. And that's not to say that you guys do the same thing for years and years, but it's just what compared to the rest of the discography, it is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we definitely tried very hard to have like as much variety as we can with our sound on this self-titled. You have super pretty ballady songs like Vanished Canvas, Memory Fiction, even Shadow Autonomous is pretty much a ballad. But and then you have just ass beaters like Remnant, Gungrave, and then just weirdly like fuck you heavy songs like Scorpion Hymn,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can swear on your podcast.
No, you can do whatever. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can do whatever. But no, the Scorpion Hymn was definitely man, I absolutely loved that song. And you might hear my cat meowing in the background. He's a loud mouth. He's always talking. Yeah, yep. He's always chatting it up. But
his name Gary?
His name is it should be. But no, it's Romeo, actually.
Nice. Good cat name.
Yeah, he was a rescue cat. I rescued him, and he's a super affectionate cat. So he actually came with the name, and he's just a very affectionate, lovey cat. That's why he's always meowing. He wants attention. Yeah, he's not a prick, which is a good thing.
I went down the rabbit hole of like cat attack videos last night on YouTube. Actually,
oh, did you?
God, they can be such dicks.
Yeah, well, so this cat. So I have a 10-year-old son, by the way, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm 28 with a 10-year-old son, so there's some
daddy status. I like it.
Hell yeah! No, I had it. I was like a week away from 18. I had him, and yeah, man. So I got him a new mattress, and so I put his old mattress up against the wall while I try to figure out plans to get rid of that thing. And the cat will jump up there, and he'll just sit on the bed, like up
on the very top. Yeah.
And he thinks he's a badass, thinks he's tough. Like you walk by, he'll be like, he'll try to attack you from up there. And so
his perch.
Yeah, exactly. He just thinks that the higher he is, the more that he can oversee.
Weird creatures.
They are, man. They're so weird. And having him, I've learned that I guess how like dogs can sense that you're a different species just by smelling you. But cats think that everybody's just another cat. That's pretty weird.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I read anyway off of the internet, so it's obviously true. But
I'll have to look. I have to verify that. I mean, I believe that, but I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I actually yeah, my girlfriend she told me that because the TikTok is where all the people are getting their degrees nowadays. You know what I mean? That's where they're getting all the information.
You will not find me on there.
No,
at least not right now.
Yeah, I've tried, man, and it's just there's too many things to keep up with. Being in a band.
I just don't care. I don't care.
But you're on Twitch though, so you've been doing that for how long now?
Dude, it's even finding an identity on that has been a struggle for me because I don't want to get. I hate when I feel like a show pony on there or like a dance for your dollar vibe. Because it does feel like that sometimes, and I don't know why I feel that way. It's probably my fault, but I haven't found a way to approach streaming and 100% enjoy it right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I get what you mean. And I actually hear that pretty often from people who are kind of, I don't know if it's something to do with like being a musician and doing it because it's not, because you probably don't feel like, I'm psychoanalyzing you here now. This is a therapy.
No,
But
I think I know what you're gonna say, and you're probably right.
I think it's because you probably feel like when you're at a live show, you're providing entertainment, whereas on Twitch you feel like you're just kind of sitting in your room just talking. And it probably doesn't give that, it's not that same give and take probably for you. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple things. Like, one, you're doing it like, I mean, at a certain level, you're doing it for money, and you want to make sure the content you're providing, is like you feel like worth everybody's time. So I put that pressure on myself. Two, I also worry about not only is the content there, but like, is it good enough? Like, is this representative of like me? And then I mean, shit, if you just go to just the music side, that when I do that, like, am I holding myself to a high enough standard that I'm providing to them? Like, should it be better or higher? I don't know. It's just it feels like I'm winging it too much. And I do like the structure and the choreographed nature that a show is. And like you said, I don't know, man, Twitch is weird. And you know, it's just like, you know, IDs and text, and it's just you. It's just the whole thing about it's just uncomfortable for me a lot of times. It can be really fun, but that's only if the chat interaction will, you know, you're kind of relying on that. Like, you can't really carry it by yourself. You can, but I don't know. Chat's like its own entity.
For sure. But would it help you if I said to you that the people that are showing up to your streams, though, I mean, I'm just guessing here, but I'm pretty sure that I'm correct, is that they're showing up there for you. I mean, you could do whatever you want. They're there for you, for JT.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, I know 90% of like much more like higher traffic streams are music related. Because like when I originally got on there, I got on there for gaming, and I like approached it all wrong, and I realized that people were getting on there to interact with me and learn about like music and ERRA. But like most of the time, I don't want to do that on stream. That's the problem. Like, I don't want to do vocal streams. Like, I want to get on and chill and like goof off and like release, because music can be like stressful for me because I'm a perfectionist, and if it's not like perfect, I don't want it to be seen at all. You know?
I got, you know, that makes sense.
Or heard at all, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because I think the common like initial interpretation that people get of Twitch is that this is where people go to watch people play video games. But I found more and more that that's really not the case.
Not at all.
No.
And especially this year with just chatting being the most popular category on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, because I know for me personally, I mean, there's some Twitch streamers that I watch, but it's not for their gameplay. It's for them, because
personalities for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, like I'm a big World of Warcraft player, for example.
No, I didn't know that. That's sick. I used to be, but
okay.
I'm waiting for flying for this expansion. I just don't care.
Wait, so do you actively play, like, sort of?
Dude, I've literally been playing since BC.
Dude, same here.
Every expansion.
We're gonna dive into that as well. See, this is why people say the interview.
This is an unfortunate addiction.
Yes, it is. This is a good conversation here. So we're a lot. We have beards. There's not many bearded men in metalcore.
I just trimmed too.
You just did. Well, you should have kept it longer. You know, you gotta try to compete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I work at a restaurant and it has an outdoor patio in Alabama, and it's just so hot and disgusting, and I'm like a wet, nasty person. So just with the beard, and I eat a lot, and I like wings and just barbecue sauce and buffalo. It just stored in the mustache all day. It's just I just feel gross.
Just save it for later. You know what I mean?
With the mask, yeah, I don't know. Piece of chicken in there, yeah.
Yeah,
dig it out.
That's the other thing that I kind of want to talk to you about. I know that you're in Alabama. I know that you're from, you said Maryland, and you came down to Alabama initially for ERRA. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then Jesse left you. Is that correct?
I love how you say it like that. I mean, yeah. You know, I moved down there because I had lived in Maryland my whole life, and I wanted to just get out and try something different. And I got an opportunity to do it for so cheap. It's really super cheap to live down here in general.
Yeah.
The cost of living is is great for people like me, poor. So yeah, the change was nice. It's been cool. I'm ready to move on. Actually, I maybe go back to Maryland.
Oh, interesting.
Try elsewhere, but this I don't need to go any more detail.
Yeah.
Alabama's fine.
Yeah, no,
Birmingham's a cool city. But yeah, I moved down here for the band. I'm kind of the dad. I'm very hands-on with like prepping the van and trailer before tour, gear storage, like more of the grunt work stuff.
The first vocalist ever to do the grunt work.
Yeah, I know it is. I hate loading. I'll load, but if I don't load, I just say, hey, I do everything else.
Yeah. So going down to Alabama now, you're entering into a football state. I mean,
oh
big
my
time.
God.
So have you been converted? Oh, it got real. Okay, I was gonna say, have you been converted at all? You're just like, listen, I don't give a crap about the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, it depends. Like the house I originally lived in was Roll Tide, and then I dated a girl who went to Auburn, and so I got both sides real fast. It's like a religion down here. You have to pick a side.
Yeah, Auburn or Alabama. Yeah.
I usually back Alabama. My cousin goes there.
Oh, really?
I live in Birmingham. So
Okay.
I don't care though.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like what area of town do you have to like chameleonize yourself and be like, oh,
it's a mixed bag.
Is it really?
Where you are? Yeah, I see both of it just as much, honestly.
Interesting. Okay, so I know. So okay, so not football, but I know that you used to be a swimmer.
Yes. Not many people know that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I did a little bit of background.
Where the hell did you find that?
There's various interviews out there, and the other thing too.
Okay, yeah.
The other thing, I'm not going to talk to you about how bad COVID's been. I heard that. I listened to like 5 different interviews you were in, and I'm like, guys,
I don't want to talk about COVID
now.
anymore. Everybody knows about it.
I know exactly. It's like, what did somebody just wake up out of a coma listening to this podcast? We get
that would suck.
I mean, oh, dude.
Oh my God, imagine.
Oh my God, imagine like if it was like one of like those 10-year comas though, and they were like, what?
Like literally the memes we see on Facebook, like, I'm awake. It's 2020. What happened? Just go back to sleep.
Yeah, seriously.
We'll wake you up when you're good.
I often think about like weird stuff like that. I'm like, imagine if somebody's just like, stumbling out of a 10-year coma, or like, have you seen that old movie Kicking It Old School where the guy like is in a coma for like 25 years? He's like a kid and then he wakes up and he's older.
Wait, that sounds so familiar. Who played?
What's his name? Jamie.
That sounds so familiar. Kicking It Old School?
Kicking It Old School. Yeah. They're like break dancers. And yeah, it's Jamie.
7?
Yeah, it's Jamie.
Jamie Kennedy?
Jamie Kennedy.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he wakes up and he still thinks he's part of like his
Bobby Lee's in this movie? Oh my God.
Yeah, that movie is
it's got a good cast.
It's got a good cat. I got like a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it is absolutely one of
4.6 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, it is actually it's a fun movie to watch, but it's definitely not there for the cinematography, if you know what I mean.
God, it looks like 2007.
Yeah, it's definitely. I remember listening to probably some Faint by Linkin Park, watching that, playing some Burning Crusade. God. You know what I mean? The good old days.
Yeah, that was the year. Yep.
But so being a swimmer, okay, now explain to me and explain to the people what that means, because we can all do the doggy paddle, but I'm assuming that it's a little bit more evolved than that.
No, I was like a traveling athlete. Like
really,
I swam for a rec team. I swam for my high school team. I swam in college briefly. I've been doing it since I was like 8, 10 maybe. I was a big sports guy growing up. Lacrosse, football, a little bit of rugby. Early days was like baseball, basketball. My dad wrestled and played lacrosse at Duke, and my mom swam for Towson. So it was a big sports family.
Oh wow.
And swimming just happened to be the sport. I was much better at it than anything else I did. And that was before I devoted my life to music. That was my life beforehand, up until like 18, 19.
Well, did you stop was it an injury related thing or?
No. Yes and no. I went to, I did a year at a liberal arts school called Franklin and Marshall. I'm gonna try to make this is actually a good story, but I'm gonna make it short. It's not a happy story.
You could JT, the forum is yours. You can do whatever you want here.
Yeah, but it's not a happy story, so I don't want to go into a lot of detail.
All right.
But basically, I went to Franklin and Marshall in Lancaster, PA, in 2007 and 8 for my freshman year, and I was swimming for the team. And we had a dry season from December to February where you couldn't drink, and I was 18, so I shouldn't have been drinking anyways. But I'd never I went to like 5 high school parties before I went to college, and so my leash was so tight, I just went absolutely batshit my first year of college, as far as like just being out of control. Like literally going to Latin class at 10 a.m. still drunk, like that type of shit.
Well, that I actually kind of don't blame you for, but
yeah, I did like Latin, but so I was also like one of the best swimmers on the team as a freshman, so that gave me a little bit of an ego, and I saw all the upperclassmen who were still going out. They had gone out less, but they were still going out and like partying a little bit. So I was like, I'm like one of the best swimmers. I'm gonna go do that too. Well, I got caught.
Oh boy.
And I got kicked off the team 2 days before championships.
Oh.
And the stream died.
Oh, did it?
Oh, we're back.
Oh, okay. I was like,
okay,
don't say that.
That was nice. Yeah, I got caught. And then 2 days before championships, I got kicked off the team. I got pulled into the office, and my coach was literally crying before he started talking to me. And he had pictures of me at a frat party on a table. So somebody ratted me out.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then after that later that year, my shoulder was already starting to go, and I blew my shoulder out that summer. So it was like destiny almost.
What did you? Because I've had
labral tear.
I had a labral and a bicep tear. Yeah. Yep. God, and you kind of hit your shoulders.
I really couldn't swim at all. Yeah, and I was a butterflyer, which is like both my shoulders were shot. I ended up getting surgery on the right one in like 2008. But it's never gonna be the same.
Damn. Now, do you still like? I know for me, like if I'm
it
like,
still hurts.
Yeah. So like this curtain behind me, it fell down the other day, and I'm sitting there like
my range of motion's like way tight now. I used to be.
Yeah.
Hypernate, posturnate is the term or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and dude, I don't know what it is, but like if my arms up like this for too long, they just like die.
Same.
They just die.
They're really weak.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and it's not like your muscles; it's here.
Yep. Exactly. And I remember like probably about a year or so after, like when I was actually trying.
It's like a bad weld.
Yeah, it's weird. I would try to go to the gym, which I'm not really. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really too much of a gym person anyway. But like when I was going, I would try to do benches, and like it would like click I'm like, this ain't good.
Oh, I had the same thing. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, bench press I avoided for so long because it put too much pressure right here.
Yeah.
It was never the weight. It was the pressure on my joint.
Yeah, it was almost like you had to go down to like almost nothing. It was
sharp pain. Yeah, sharp pain.
It was very weird. Shoulders are, but then I guess listen, it all brought us to doing metalcore because I mean you don't really have to.
Literally did.
You don't have to put your shoulders up too much, but no, man, for me, I played baseball growing up.
Tons of labral tears in baseball. Tons. Rotator cuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
rotational. It's like an overuse injury.
Yep, exactly. And then, the thing for me was my right knee. I have like this. I just actually talked about this on a podcast I was on.
Old man knees.
Yeah, my right knee. I have this condition where the blood flow to my knee is restricted. So what happened was my bone started to decay and like actually break apart. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like 13, 14 years old, and I was running, and I'm like, it feels like there's something like floating around in my leg. And
oh my God.
Yeah. But anyway, so my knee, I've had like 7 right knee surgeries, and man, the final one, they had to go in there with like cadaver stuff and replace it with that, break my leg, realign it, put a rod in my leg, and it was brutal.
God.
Yeah.
Do you have some metal in there? cybernetic organism.
Yeah, actually, I think I might still. I haven't had anything go off in an airport, so that's good. They gave me like these. They put like these pins in my leg, but they were like dissolvable, so they're probably gone by now. But I don't know how
Modern
any
science. That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know how any of this works, but
Edible pins.
edible exactly. So
Great. It's cannibal friendly.
yeah, but so that's interesting though. So you went from being an athlete, and then you eventually got your way into music, and I know that. You said that I believe I heard that you started when you were like 23.
Touring when I was 23.
When you were 23, yeah.
Yeah, 21 I started screaming, or 2021. I remember showing my girlfriend at the time that I started screaming, and she thought I was dumb and lame. And then we broke up, and then I continued to spite her, and here we are.
Wow. So shout out to her, you know what I mean? But yeah, so okay, so let's go. I guess we can kind of go back. You started doing YouTube covers.
So like after that, I learned how to scream, and I started doing YouTube covers. Yeah, for like 2 years.
Okay, and then like who were? Because I know for me it was Phil Bozeman. I mean that was the guy that I saw him at Mayhem Fest, and I was like, damn man, like I like this. I've never been able to reach his caliber, and I never will because he's not a human being. He's a
literally
monster.
God.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He's also been doing it for. He's probably got 5 years on both of us.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. And so was there anybody particular for you like that you can pinpoint, like maybe one or two people that like, yeah, I saw him and I was like, yep, here we go.
Matt, I think it's Brusso, how to pronounce it? Matt Brusso from Bury Your Dead.
Interesting.
And Jonathan Vigil from The Ghost Inside. Okay,
I hear some Vigil in your vocals. And it's actually funny. I actually got told by, just a friend of mine. They were like that my vocals sound like the guy from Bury Your Dead, and I was like, huh, okay, I'll take that. I mean, he's very good.
I just liked percussive, punishing mid range. That's my favorite.
Exactly. And,
like Matt Honeycutt from Kublai Khan, literally one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's awesome. And
such an interesting tonality to his voice.
Yeah, and I also like because you seem like even when you're recording, you're probably very loud. I know some people aren't very loud.
Annoyingly loud.
Yeah, I'm loud too. I don't know what that says about us, but very
probably same technique, honestly.
Probably, yeah. And I hope that you get less vocal hate than I do. Though I hope that you don't get.
You get vocal hate? Why,
dude? Listen, just go read the comments for any of our songs. It's everywhere. They're like, I like the music.
Sucks, dude.
Yeah, I know, but it's
so fucking mean.
Yeah, but anyway, getting back to you. So you do the vocal covers, and then you get into Texas in July that way. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. I joined a local band like halfway through. We did like 6 shows. And then in the midst of the local band stuff and like the end of the covers, I got a call from their guitar player at the time, Chris Davis.
Ghost Inside.
Who's now on the Ghost Inside, right? And he was like, "Hey, we've heard about you through the grapevine. I got your number from a friend, mutual friend. His name is Cam, and Cam actually was a fill-in for Texas in July. Well, he was a permanent member kind of for a hot second too, because he's technically on the record. Cam Welsh, and they asked me to try out. They said they lost their vocalist, literally the exact same way I joined ERRA, but before ERRA. It's kind of weird how that happened, but I went to try out. I drove back up to Lancaster, that's the weirdest thing. I was in Lancaster for school, and then 5 years later, I'm back there to join the band.
Interesting.
Yeah.
At least you're familiar with the area.
It's about an hour and a half north from my hometown, so it wasn't even that far.
And
but
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. Just tried out. Did Warped Tour. It was my first tour ever. It was terrifying.
Oh my God.
Yeah. did 14 days, I think. It was only like a portion.
Yeah, man. I know that you guys are gonna be playing Furnace Fest later this year, and we're booked for a festival as well. And I'm like, we got to play some other shows before that, because like the first show back after
when is that's September.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming we would try to do like at least 3 shows around there, like Atlanta, Birmingham, maybe like a double Birmingham show that's just at a venue with us. Who knows?
Yeah, just something to knock the rust off, so to speak, before you go in front of a large crowd at a festival.
I do not want Furnace Fest to be our first show. That would suck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it would be kind of reminiscent of you doing Warped Tour as your first show, first tour with Texas in July.
I mean, I'm great. I'm not worried about me.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the rest of the band. No, I'm terrified. Especially if we do any songs with singing. Jeez.
Yeah, well, so that's actually a really cool thing that I didn't know. I didn't know that you sang initially, but then obviously listening to these last few songs.
There's a lot of sneaky singing parts on the record.
Lots of sneaky singing, yes. And so, yeah, it's actually kind of coincidental timing for this, because we actually just did a reaction this past week, which was actually requested by somebody through our Patreon. It was Texas in July, Nooses. So that was...
I love Nooses. Out of all the songs on that record, that's definitely a song for you, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
That's the Scorpion hymn on that record.
Yeah, that was sick. I was like, this is just nonstop, just...
It's punishing.
Yeah.
And I love that riff. I miss that song, man. So much fun.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really a fun song. And but going from Texas in July to ERRA, and it sounds like you've joined all the, like, you haven't. I'm not. So that local band, was that from scratch, or was that a thing that you joined as well? I didn't even think of that. It's fucking crazy. I replaced a different vocalist for that local band. That's funny. So you're the cleanup crew, essentially.
I guess.
What has that been like? Because TrueShot's my first ever band. I've never been in another band in my entire life. This is it. I mean, this is.
I don't know anything else. I've never thought of that. I did it 3 times. Yeah, because we did like 4 songs that they had already written with another vocalist, and then I think we eventually put like 2 from like an EP that we did, and then I did the same thing with Texas in July, and then the same thing with ERRA.
Yeah, that is a very interesting trajectory. But it's cool.
Holy shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but I mean, they're
never from scratch.
Yeah, but they've been 2 very good bands. But I guess, I mean, I'm sure that you probably, don't really pay too much mind to it or think about it too much. But, I think for a lot of people who are into these bands like ERRA or Texas in July, they've developed some sort of an attachment to the original vocalist, and you're the new guy. What has that dynamic kind of been like, kind of being the new guy?
New guy hate? Oh, I can tell you all about new guy hate. Holy shit. New guy hate is very real.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Is it just because of a familiar voice, or what do you think?
I think tonally and technique-wise, I might sound very different from a lot of vocalists, but I think recorded, like, it's really not that much different from what you can hear from several vocalists.
Yeah.
So, like, when people tell me I'm, like, monotone, I just don't hear it. Like, I don't know. Like, I think the biggest complaints for people saying when I first joined ERRA in particular that I didn't have a range, which was literally never true. I just didn't use it because the music that we were writing just didn't call for it. Like, it was super pretty. It wasn't like going from the records that they did to the record that I did first with ERRA. Just like, there's no room for highs and super low lows because the music was all really pretty, for the most part, very melodic. I mean, I could have. That was honestly my biggest qualm with their original music is I loved ERRA, but there were some parts where I like, man, a death growl just like sounds weird on this riff.
Yeah.
It's tomato, apples to oranges, like whatever people's preferences are. I just didn't expect people to tell me I was dog shit so much in the beginning. It's fine. It's better now that I've been able to like flex a little bit, but it's always going to be there.
No, man. Well, I'm not even just saying this just because you're here, but I really enjoy your vocal style because I'm not saying, I guess I would say, like, if I had to, pick some people that I think are kind of in the realm of my vocals, it's like I think of like you or a Matt Honeycutt, just like that very just like raw mid-range vocal. So I'm always drawn to that because I think a lot of people who listen to this music, they really love it when vocalists can maximize the high and the low end stuff. And I've always said, man, that if people don't have anything to compare you to, they write it off. They think it's weird. They're like, oh, that's just bizarre. I don't know what to make of this.
Really? I think I get so excited when it's the opposite. It's like, you're one of a kind, as long as I like it. Like, if I like it, If I think it's good and it's unique, it's like a double win.
I agree with you. I'm just going off of what I've seen in our comment history where they're like the vocals are weird. Like it's not even like some people just say they're bad, and that's fine. But when they say they're weird, I'm like, that's
both wrong.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate, because I actually did say, hey man, I'll do a lesson with you, and you said that I didn't need lessons. So I thought that was a very nice compliment. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But so I know that my bass player Derek. I mean,
we should do a vocal artist thing. What are those? A collaborative. There's a fucking term for that. Like when two producers work together on purpose.
Okay.
But like two vocalists go over vocal shit together, like a little like a music mentors type of thing.
Oh yeah, no I would love.
If you want to do one of those, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I would definitely love to do one of those. I always say that I'm not really the best teacher because I'm like probably like you. I learned in the car, just yelling my brains out. We're driving down the street.
I mean, I've done a few lessons now, and I'm starting to figure out like it's super hard to translate like what we do. Especially if that's how you learned. Like we've been like, faking it the whole time. We're faking it till we made it, literally.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would definitely love to do one of those, but it's definitely, I know like a guy like Ryan Kirby, for example, is a super technician. Like he's like a very technical screamer. Like he really knows like the ins and the. Me, I'm like, listen, there's a 2010 cover of Possibilities of an Impossible Existence by Whitechapel somewhere on the internet. Like I don't know where it is. It's on like an iPhone 4 or whatever. But yeah, that's man. Amazing. Yeah, I just kind of just go for it. And the like for me, like the high screams were something that I never did until I got into this band, and like I really wanted to try to do a different kind of range. But my natural voice is kind of low, so to get like that high is tough. Like to get higher than what I can already do. And so what for you has kind of been like the as time has gone on and evolved, and you're trying to develop more of a toolkit, so to speak. Like what's been the difficult part of vocals for you to kind of develop and use on a daily basis, so to speak?
It's hard to pinpoint what's difficult. There's definitely portions of the voice that required more like workshopping. Like highs definitely did. The like tunnel throat shit, like anything like beyond just a regular low scream, a regular mid scream, or like a pushed mid that sounds kind of high. Really like getting into like a different technique to deliver like a slight tonal difference. That's the hard part. Also figuring out what like I could do highs in the past, but they never felt right, and I kind of winged them, and sometimes they're very inconsistent in tonal nature. But then one day I just stumbled upon a slightly different like sensation, and I like hung on to that, and that's how I was able to push my high technique. And kind of the same for lows. I think once you beat it to death enough and let it recover, and you're so used to it, you can kind of find the little like nooks of space and like muscles to use for your screams. That's how I see it. I don't know. It's so hard to explain.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you do lessons, and I think that's really cool. I've had not many. I've had some people ask me like, "Hey, can you offer me any tips or anything?" And I'm like, "Dude, listen, I really don't have a lot to relay to you." So like through doing lessons on your end, how did you kind of, I guess, kind of curate that, like the teaching, like how did you kind of curate that? Did you like?
Oh, I winged it. There's things that I've seen in other videos for vocal teaching that I kind of adapted, but I just tried to break it down piece by piece, and that was the hard part. And I'm still figuring that out, because that was the main reason why I didn't start. Is like, well, one, I didn't want to be responsible for people potentially getting hurt, but two, like I didn't know how to like tell you how to do it, and I'm still figuring it out. I mean, I'm not saying these kids are guinea pigs, but because they've all improved. It works, but I just hope the way I'm translating it to them is effective.
Sure. Yeah. No, because it's I used to think with screaming, I used to be like, I don't know, man. I just think that some people have it and some don't. But then I started to think, as time went on, I started to think like, no, I think that this can actually be taught.
I think it can be taught.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's just like such an odd skill. I mean, it really
It really is.
It's like there's no, like, obviously there's Melissa Cross, and I'm sure you've probably watched the DVD or maybe even had lessons with her yourself.
I've seen the DVDs and I've gotten a lesson from her.
What is that like? Because
she's so sick.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She's awesome. She's very eccentric and bubbly, a great instructor. I highly recommend her, like literally for singing, screaming, anything. She's great.
I've always been like, man, I would love to, even if I got the privilege of doing it once, because I've watched the DVD, of course, and there's a lot of things like, like the scream, like the breath, like the, oh yeah, that really helps a lot. I mean, that's always one of the tips that I give. I'm like, that really is something that's so minor, but really makes a huge difference, especially for like those long vocal runs. Yeah. So, I guess, so I want to actually kind of go back a little bit, because the guy in my band, Derek, I said, if you guys have any questions for you, because like I said, they've been longtime fans of ERRA and even Texas in July. And
sick.
Yeah. So, and I said, listen, I said, guys, you can ask questions, okay, but like, make them good, okay? And
I'll tell you if they're not.
Well, so this one, I mean, is borderline, but we love Derek, and he's a bass player. You got to treat him tenderly, you know what I mean? But he said he just really kind of wanted to ask, I guess, like, because I'm not really sure of how Texas in July disbanded. Was it just like you guys went different ways, or was it just because he was basically asking, what was that like to leave that project? You know what I mean?
I think we had decided like April of 2015.
Yeah.
And I had been in the band for almost 2 years at that point. So like I was still stoked. Like I was pretty much all in. Still figuring it out, still learning how to be a vocalist and frontman.
Yeah.
But what happened, I think the problem was they had been a band for so long, and they saw a lot of their peers who toured with them and outgrew them and started to hit an incline that Texas in July never did. And I think it really discouraged them, because there's so much talent in that band.
Well, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I mean, think of the bands that come out of there.
So there's a lot.
August Burns Red, I mean, is...
This the Apocalypse, which is now Hawk.
Yep.
I think that area is generally where most of Either Breather is from.
Yep. Oh wow,
Maryland,
I didn't even know
Pennsylvania.
that. Wow.
There's a few more. But I think a lot of it was that. I think they felt like they had done all they could, and they didn't want to grind any more than they already had, and they were just burned the fuck out. I know a lot of it was Adam, but I think it was a collective decision minus me, honestly.
Yeah, so I guess, kind of, because I know that you were only in the band relatively for a short time compared to how long the band had been around. So for kind of being like, I guess, like a set of fresh eyes, is that what I know you said that you think that's really what it was, but like, what do you think it was that separated them from that other pack? So you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
We did nothing for, like, our social media presence wasn't great. Our tour offers weren't great. Another thing it could have been, I mean, I looked like shit on stage. I don't know. There's so many things I see now. I don't know if they're more present, just as present then, that we just weren't doing it. But I mean, there's definitely some things that I'm thinking of now that we could have done. Who knows? There's plenty of bands that have just disappeared for whatever reason, and they were absolutely incredible and it never caught on. Like I still to this day don't understand how we're not touring under Misery Signals.
Yeah,
like one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah, no, yeah, wow, Misery Signals. Yeah, man, they've been around for a long time. That band,
I'm a big Darkest Hour fan, but I feel like Darkest Hour's presence on tours and stuff has been dwindled away as well. I could be wrong. I haven't really looked. I do see them tour sometimes.
Yeah, are they playing Furnace Fest? For some reason,
I think they are. I think they are. So
yeah,
that's sick. That makes sense too, because they've been doing metalcore since like 03.
Yeah, maybe, since 1984. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for so long, and they've been sick the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess from there,
it's hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Sometimes there's really not like a pinpoint, like this is why. It's just kind of because objectively speaking, the music was good. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like
I thought it was.
Yeah, exactly. And Lancaster, what I can understand that though, you kind of, because I think a lot of local scenes, especially, I mean, I'm in New Hampshire. I mean, so it's very few and far between that, kind of break through that echelon, so to speak. But in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I mean, it was like every band that you can think of that's still around today. It's like they were from there. It seems like so many bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, when I went to Europe with them, that was like their 7th time there.
Wow.
Like they went before they should have though. Like then, and they knew, and then I heard about it. But I mean, that was the good thing though, because their manager at the time had sent them like to Japan early, to Europe early in their career, because he wanted to get the roots in early, and that makes sense. But most bands that like, I mean, actually, I can't talk about that. Never mind. That's not available. That's not available information yet.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
ERRA went late. ERRA was due for a European presence long before I joined, but yeah, I don't know. Timing is everything. It's so hard. It's so hard to judge, and I'm still fairly new to the music industry and all this shit that happens, and I only pay so much attention as well. I'm not in the business mind as much as some of our members, but
yeah,
who knows?
You can blame Derek for that question.
Such an interesting creature. No, that's not a bad question. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So then from there,
R.I.P. Miss the band, miss those guys, miss those songs. But
dude, listen,
things are good. Can't complain.
Yeah. No, I try to be as honest as I can in our reaction videos and whatnot. And man, I really Nooses was sick. I was like, damn, this is a good song. Like this is fun.
Is that on your channel?
I think it's coming later this week. It'll be
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send it over to you too as well. But no, it was really cool because I was like, man, that's really cool timing that we're doing this, and then somebody actually, I mean, so our Patreon, I'm sure you obviously know our Patreon. Yeah. So people will pay, to be part of our Patreon, and some of the tiers are, a reaction request, and on top of other stuff as well. And yeah, somebody paid for us to check that out. So I think that's always kind of cool. Yeah. So that gap in between Texas in July ending and getting into ERRA, it didn't seem like it was very long. It seemed like it was kind of all in the same year.
Dude. So I got a call from Jesse August 2015.
Okay.
I recorded Drift with them in October. Texas in July did their farewell tour, November to December.
Wow.
We did a final show later in December, last show ever. And then in February, I was touring with ERRA.
Okay. So you didn't have like that back-to-back period of like,
nothing.
Music for me? I
already...
Yeah,
I went through the existential period
after
like the summer of 2015. But once I got that call, I was like, oh my God, not again, not another metalcore band. I told myself I was going to find a mix between Bury Your Dead and Chevelle.
And you might have to start that from scratch. I mean, to find something like that. But
basically what Beartooth is now.
Oh, okay. That's actually, well, you might have to wrestle Caleb for that spot.
But more like hardcore riffs.
Yeah. So you're kind of into the heavy stuff. That's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for chugs and groove.
Yeah, I know. So the running joke on everything is I always find a way to bring up a mirror. So are you into that kind of?
I love a mirror.
Yeah. There we go.
Mirror, Acacia Strain, who are just bone crushing heavy bands like
Alpha
that.
Wolf is another one.
Alpha Wolf, but that was like my album of the year.
Oh yeah.
You would probably like Justice for the Damned.
I've listened to some Just for the Damned. They're
Yeah.
good. There's another band out of Australia that I really
Kublai
like.
Khan could be kind of put in that category.
Oh man, I love Kublai Khan. Boom Slang, all that stuff is just
Such a good band.
I love it. But there's another Australian band that I listen to called Antagonist AD. I think it's just like Adelaide. Or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, there's another band called Deficit, which I really liked a lot. They kind of have like
Deficit.
yeah, they kind of have like at least the song that I listened to, it kind of started out with like some like hip hop kind of beats, and then it gets like heavy. Yeah.
What about the band Legend? You ever heard of Legend?
That's with
Chad
with
Roulette?
Yeah, I've heard some of that stuff. That stuff's good.
He was another vocalist where I first heard that was like, I need to sound like him. That's so sick. Because he was on For the Fallen Dreams Changes in 2008, and then The Pale Horse was 2011, which was Legend. And after I heard those two records, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, no, Chad.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's great. I remember they came through here at some point. I tried to get us to open that show, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. But you know,
Damn.
Yeah, god damn it, local promoters. You know what I mean? But yeah. So another band that I really like. I'm sure you've probably heard of them by now. But Left to Suffer. I'm sure you've heard of them, dude. That band is
so
good.
What's confusing is I think that's the band that has the song Loathe.
Yes, it's very. I had the same problem. I thought it was the band Loathe. Yeah.
And then I thought, that's the band Loathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no. You're wrong.
Yeah, no, they're really, really good. They really offer like that heavy oomph. And then there was another band out of Australia that is no longer a band anymore that I really liked a lot. But we don't need to talk about that. I think you can probably guess who I'm talking about.
Damn.
Yeah. yeah. But okay, so getting back to ERRA though.
I think I know exactly who it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like I'm not butthurt by that, but there's like so many people on the internet that like want to roast you just because you have that opinion.
Yeah, so let's
dive in. Fair.
Let's dive into that.
If you're being a cocksucker about it, that's one thing, but you're not. You're just saying it's not for me, and you're okay with that.
Yeah, no. Oh, so I was saying that I liked the band a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
not really your thing anymore.
No. I like it, but the people involved were bad boys. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
now I don't know what band it is.
I'll whisper it.
You can type it to me in chat.
Oh, I'll do that. That's a good
chat.
I never typed anybody here in the chat.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about North Lane.
Oh no! So I actually have a very interesting relationship with North Lane, only because we get.
I thought you were just like saying you're a big Adrian fan. You didn't really care for Marcus. Which is fine.
No. I actually haven't listened to too much North Lane, admittedly, and we get told we sound a lot like old North Lane, and so I kind of went back. I still have to go back and listen to it to see if that adds up. But no, they're a good band. They're very good. I like them all, but no, that's the band I'm talking about. And of course, I love like Polaris, and you know, Australia has a bunch of great bands. But yeah, no. So I love the heavy stuff, and you know, it is what it is. So, but yeah,
shitty people be shitty. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. We had a feature on one of our songs that may or may not have, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, dude. That was over a year ago, though. You
were the chosen one.
Yeah,
you were supposed to just restore the force, not destroy it.
Needless to say, I was like, God damn it, because but anyway, I know, but anyway, but my point was that I really love the heavy stuff, and you seem to be into that stuff as well. And is that like a vocalist thing? Is that what you've kind of just like gathered?
Is it?
Because listen, let's be honest, guitar players are, you know, they're a little nerdy when it comes to that thing. You know what I mean?
I used to be a guitar player. That's how I started with music, actually.
So are you a nerd? Well, you are a nerd a little.
Yeah, but all I play was riffs and chugs. I couldn't noodle or anything.
There you go. See, that's what I like. I had Frankie on
Playing all kill switch riffs and shit.
exactly. I had Frankie on the podcast, like the very first podcast for this, because I was like, I got to start this off big. I got to start this off.
Paul Mary?
Yeah, for Paul Mary. Yeah.
Okay, sick. Yeah, I don't know I don't know a damn thing about him. He's kind of
he's a mysterious character.
Yeah, he is mysterious.
Yeah, which I think is kind of cool. You don't see that too much anymore. Everybody wants access.
I think he's just very sad.
I hope not, man.
And he just keeps to himself.
Yeah, I think I actually asked him in that podcast. I was like, I read the lyrics. You all right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he said, and I still use this quote to this day. He said, "You know what? Music is not a math problem. Just enjoy it or don't." And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Yeah, it's very poignant and very true because the Amur jokes are, "Hey, just do zeros." It's
a lot of people like just zeros. I mean, dubstep is just bumping. I mean, you could make the comparison in so many genres, honestly.
Yeah. So while I do like my zeros, though, the riff in Electric Twilight, though, I mean, I
did not expect you to enjoy that song as much as you did.
Really? Yeah, dude. Yeah. That one,
So that one and the Vanished Canvas one were my favorite.
Oh,
for sure.
For the reactions that you mean?
Your reactions, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Your way of explaining your thoughts on Vanished Canvas was like perfect to me. Like that was my favorite interpretation of like us and a song that I've ever seen. So actually, I don't know if I told you that. I meant to tell you that. So
I think you said it on one of your streams once, but no, I really appreciate that because, the kind of the running. I
forget exactly what you said, but I was like, damn.
Yeah, well, I just thought that song really showcased. I believe that was the song that I think really showcased Jesse's vocals in a way
100%.
that I thought were really like that was like the song that I've heard by ERRA where I'm like, yeah, this really showcases what this guy can do because we all know that he has a great voice and whatnot. But I mean, that one right there really like kind of put it up on a pedestal in a way. Mm-hmm. And it was just really, really cool.
One of my favorite songs that we've ever done, and which is weird because I'm a sucker for heavy songs. And I've said this in other scenarios, like other podcasts and whatnot, but I can't get enough of that song for whatever reason. It's just like hits different.
Yeah, man, I'm the same way. Like, there's those songs that when you bring it like way down, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Loathe. I always forget the name of the song.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I always forget the name. Two-Way Mirror. Two-Way Mirror.
One of the last song on the record, I think, is really good too.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, even Alpha Wolf has a song like that.
Yeah, Bleed For You. They have that one, and then they also have their closer track as well. But like, I like it when bands bring it way down like that.
I'm thinking of Landmarks.
Oh, you thinking of Lamb? Oh, okay. That's
their last song.
That I really like a lot.
That last song they did a video for. It's so different.
Yes, Landmarks is an awesome band, and I'm glad that they're finally getting the recognition that they deserve because every song they put out is just like good. I don't know, and their vocalist is. he's nuts, man.
Very talented.
Very, very talented. Yeah. So I know we got kind of off track there, but anyway, that's okay. It's a natural conversation. This is what the Joe Rogan. I know that Tuck says he's the Joe Rogan.
Hey, Jimmy, pull this up.
Yeah, exactly. I know Tuck says he's the Joe Rogan of metalcore, but like I said, I'll be the Jamie of metalcore. We'll do that. But so explain to me, because like I said, TrueShot's my first band. Everything has been from scratch. I've never joined a band especially like a band like ERRA, who had at that point, like 3 records and 3 EP, or just something crazy at that point.
Drift was, they had 2 full lengths and an EP.
2 full lengths and an EP.
Third,
okay.
5th, and the 6th.
They had quite a bit of music under their belt.
Wait, Impulse. Oh, man. What's clear? 4, Neon.
This is what happens when you're the new guy. You can't remember.
I thought Self-Titled. I guess Self-Titled is the 6th record, but like 5th full album. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So there was a lot of music already under the belt. Mm-hmm. And what's that like, kind of, especially in your situation where you kind of went in there almost immediately to track a record? Was it just kind of like, I'll just get in here and get the job done, and then we'll worry about the next album cycle then?
Dude, easy. Honestly, only because A, I had done it with Texas in July already, and B, even before that, that's what the covers were. I was learning songs like that day and then covering them.
Yeah.
So I was used to having literally nothing up here except memorized lyrics and melodies and patterns and shit like that. Just like mush brain, just music. I'm just like a space cadet at all times.
Yeah. Give yourself
They
a
call
little
it
bit
we
more
call it drummer land for drummers, but so singer land for me, I guess.
So that one was probably easy, but then I guess the next album, what was that like? Because now you're kind of a little bit more. I don't know how often you're writing. I know that some people kind of treat it as like very like a job where they're like, all right, it's record time. I'll write now, and they really don't that much outside of that. But so that next record, what was that like? Because you're probably
That was
starting to put
Neon.
you're starting to put some thoughts onto paper, some lyrics, and was that tough?
That was a disaster for me.
Oh.
Well, no, for like a lot of reasons. First off, the primary songwriter is Jesse. He writes like 90% of the music for like outside of drums and vocals, for me at least. So, and he was a vocal, like lyric and pattern writer for past records as well. So he did like, I think there's 11 songs on Drift, 10. I did 4 and he did the rest already. They were already recorded. So actually when I came into Drift, was it Drift, Sleep, I forget what the fuck is that song called? Sleeper. Drift, Sleeper, Continuum, and Orchid are all my lyrics and patterns.
Okay.
And then the rest were already done, so I kind of just got in there, wrote those 4 songs in that week, and then did whatever was left. And Neon was actually kind of done the same way. I've always written 2 instrumentals. I let the music dictate how the source of the theme of the song is going to go.
Sure.
Because I feel out the vibe. Like I have to, if it's a heavy song, it's going to have a heavy topic. If it's like a melodic song or a pretty song, it's going to have a matching topic. That's just how we write, at least. Doesn't have to be, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I'll have themes or things I've been planning to talk about, and I'll let that kind of steer the ship. But yeah, I'll just literally just beat the instrumental to death and just lock myself in a room until I got it.
That's interesting, yeah, because Adam was actually going to ask, he said, do they go into writing with a certain idea of how they want things to feel, or do they build upon things and let it build organically? And you've kind of just touched on that a little bit.
Yeah. Main riffs are done outside the studio. Almost all leads are written in the studio. I think that's what Jesse said. I'm trying to remember it also. Like we'll do like pre-pro tracks with like maybe some rhythm and leads, but mostly just rhythm and drums on MIDI. And then so I'll have like a couple as a reference. We might write 1 or 2 whole songs in the studio. But yeah, a lot of writing is done in studio, but not necessarily instrumentals.
Interesting. Yeah.
More like the final touches, like I would say like 70% instrumentals and then none of the lyrics. He might have like a melody he's been saving for a while. I might have some lyrics that I've been saving for a while, then I'm try to place them in the right song later. But a lot of lyric stuff is done, if not all of it, in the studio.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that is. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I forgot the whole point of this story. Neon.
Yeah.
So the Neon was a disaster.
Back to the disaster.
Back to the disaster. For whatever reason, I had writer's block. I hated everything I was writing. I wasn't clicking with the songs. I got sick the first time we started doing it because we recorded and tracked with Bo Bruchel from Seosin.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And in like Larchmont Village or whatever that place is called in LA. And nice spot, great town. But for whatever reason, I wasn't hacking it, and it was making, I just got my head. It got worse because I was like, I'm ruining it. Yeah. And then I got bronchitis in the studio, so I got 3 songs done. And then I finished 7 out of the 10 songs in a homemade vocal booth that I've set up in my drummer's bedroom. And we literally finished tracking in his bedroom and then sent the rest off to Bo to edit. And then it got mastered by Taylor Larson.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, man, it's going back to you being an athlete, it's kind of one of those things that it's like once you start to go down that path of like, oh no, I'm ruining it. It's like it's hard to come out of that.
Yeah.
But I can totally understand recording out of a vocal booth. I actually track all my vocals in Adam's daughter's playroom. So there you go. Fun fact.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Obviously, you can get good takes,
Of course,
really anywhere. I think it was just everything else that was just not in a line.
Yeah, that does suck. Yeah, I mean, I feel for you. I'm especially getting bronchitis in the studio. Like, what?
I get sick all the time for whatever reason, especially on tour.
Really?
I get like upper respiratory infections several times a year. But this year, because I haven't toured, I've been super healthy.
You've been super healthy. Yeah. No, it's been weird. Like
all 2020, super healthy. I got COVID, and that was it.
Did you really?
I did.
Did you? Oh man. Yeah.
I gave it to my roommate. We were both miserable.
Oh, well, so it got you pretty bad then. Like, did it get you pretty bad?
We were sick for like 4 days. I lost my taste and smell for like 8. That was crazy. When I say lost, I don't mean like muted. I mean like fucking gone, dude. Like not being able to eat like a dipped chicken tender in honey mustard. No flavor, just the texture.
Seriously, like, because
everything tastes like mucus, like your nose membrane.
Oh.
Like, you know when you get a nasty, nasty cold, super blocked, and just you can't smell or taste anything?
Yeah.
The worst version of that. Except your nose isn't stuffy.
That is.
You feel fine. Like, I felt fine for days, but nothing. Couldn't taste a damn thing.
That is very bizarre. Yeah, I guess I'm in New Hampshire. I mean, we're up here like kind of near the woods. There's not really too many people here as is. So the cases here are always very low. And fortunately, I have evaded it.
Wow.
Yeah, I've evaded it. And
I work at a bar industry. So like,
yeah,
we're surrounded by it. That's how I got it.
Yeah, So it's funny. I actually left the restaurant job right before COVID hit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting timing. Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. Yes,
beat-ups, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, we get regulars from our beat-ups all the time.
Yeah, and what's really interesting
I almost worked there.
Did you? Yeah, so I did some bartending, but I've never drank in my life, not a single time. So it was very interesting.
You're one. I know a few sober bartenders, or just never drank.
Yeah, it's a huge learning curve because I don't know anything.
You can't taste drinks. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, I've never, not even a sip. I mean, people ask me that all the time, like, you never even had not a sip, and I'm like, no, never in my life.
I don't knock that at all. I barely drink. I just do other stuff instead.
Actually, I do want to touch on that only because I heard it on another podcast. You picked up smoking. Are you still doing that, JT? All right, good. I don't want you to be smoking anymore.
I have plenty of nicotine in my system at all times, but not cigarettes.
So that happened in Europe? That's what I heard? One of the
they're talking about that? Yeah. I started smoking in Europe in 2014.
Why'd you do
that? I quit like 2 years ago.
Okay. I was going to say, you used to be a swimmer. Yeah. You need to keep those lungs intact.
Dude, when you first go to Europe, if you do a Europe in a van tour, you're going to be very bored. Because if you're doing a European van tour, that means you're doing okay venues, and a lot of the European venues do not have green rooms.
Oh, okay.
So you're hanging with the locals, you're putzing around. I mean, yeah, you should be exploring Europe anyways. If you're in Europe, it's sick. But every fucking person smokes cigarettes, dude. Everybody. And half the venues you play in will have smoking venues, especially in France and Italy.
Oh, my God.
So... when I got there, I was like, everybody's rolling joints. This is crazy. I didn't know it was like this. But then I realized it's all tobacco. And I was like, oh. And then I just got like, I was like, everybody else in the van smokes cigarettes. So I was like, fuck it. I'm drinking every day. Because it was easier to find alcohol than it was to find water. It's not even a joke. It's still a thing.
That's so weird.
I was like, I'll be fine. Because I thought I had like I can't get addicted. Like I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Nope. I was wrong. That's worse than WoW. Way worse than WoW. It's worse than WoW.
I can't wait to talk to you about World of Warcraft. This is like,
go for it.
So, because I've had Nick Nocturnal on this podcast 3 times now, and he plays.
Is he a WoW player? Of course he is.
Yes.
Wait, can I guess? Do you know his class? Don't tell me.
I know what he plays in class. Actually, I do know what he plays in both. I do know what he plays in both.
He plays retail and classic?
Yep.
He's either hunter or priest.
Neither. No.
Shaman?
From what I've seen on retail, he's a warrior. And from what I've seen on classic, he's a rogue.
I was gonna say rogue next.
Yeah.
I started as a warrior.
Did you? Yeah.
I main rep paladin now.
Interesting you say that. So when Burning Crusade comes out, I'm a rogue main in classic currently.
Horde or Alliance?
Horde.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. We'll have to get on the same server because I play with another friend of mine, but
I've only been offline for like a month. It just ran out recently.
We'll do when classic Burning Crusade comes out. I've already told my son and my girlfriend. I've already told my son and my girlfriend, like, listen, it's gonna be a minute. I have to try to recapture that 14-year-old feeling.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: you're leveling still with classic rules. You have to buy your spells. You have a quiver. You have your gold economy.
Are you a hunter?
Sucks.
Are you a hunter?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay.
Like I leveled to like I think 15 on classic as a paladin. And I was like, I hate my life. I don't want to do this. This is awful. We've been spoiled by retail for so many years. I don't want to go back to those days. Like I just want to play endgame content. Like I don't want to level.
Well, so they are going to have a boost. Did you see that? They're going to offer a character boost in classic
to 50
to 58.
That's not bad. Just do like a Hellfire Peninsula and onward.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
That would be some horny shit. I'd be into that.
Yeah, you could do that.
I would be okay with getting pummeled outside of Hellfire Peninsula, like I was in Zanger Marsh and shit.
Yeah. So
I don't know about early game though.
It's tough, man. Especially I leveled up my rogue, which is a pain in the ass to level on a dead server.
It's super squishy.
Yeah, it's squishy and a dead server. There was nobody. Literally nobody to like do dungeons, nothing. And it was quite a grind. It was like 8 days of play time to get to 60. It was a long time.
I got to 120 in 13 hours.
Yeah, well, retail, man, I've struggled with retail ever since Cataclysm. I've been one of those players that comes, goes. It's never been like a sustained playing.
It was all downhill after Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah, well, I don't. Goddamn Activision! It's Activision. I know it is. It's those bastards.
When were they acquired by Activision, though?
Right towards the end
of
Wrath of the Lich King. Yeah. Yep.
I didn't hate Pandaria, but I didn't raid that much. Like I wasn't an endgame player. I was more of like a PvPer and like heroics.
Which Pandaria was a good time for PvP.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. Yeah, man. I struggled after that. It was almost like. It was just like it was like a relationship ending. I was like, God damn, my game has changed. Like, I hate to be like that guy who's like, I started in Burning Crusade, but I did.
My girlfriend got new boobs, but they're smaller.
In a way, yeah, because it's
damn it.
Like, they made it so like
not knocking small boobs, ladies.
Yeah,
not at all.
I would probably guess it's probably like 2 women total that probably listen to anything. I know that I'm sure you see the Spotify numbers. It's like 9% women listen to this music or whatever. You know?
Metrics and all this shit's always interesting to see. And sometimes you're wrong.
Sometimes, but
it's just surprising to see. Like we have a big metric from like 30 to 45 for whatever reason.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, that's probably Adam and his
cool
friends.
For us. So you have like 18 to 25, then you have 30 to is like 45 is like not bad.
Yeah. So I don't want
whatever reason.
I don't want to age, but Adam's in his mid-30s and he likes you.
I'm 31.
Yeah. So we could have went to high school together. I'm 28. We could have went to high school together. Mm-hmm. But nah, man. Yeah. With WoW, like with Shadowlands, I played. I was like, all right, and it's always that initial month is always cool. It's always cool.
Do you like Torghast?
I think it's kind of cool. I love
Torghast.
I think it's well. I'm a prop pally, so I don't die. Let's be honest.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I don't
That's
die.
Sick. I didn't know you're prop pally. That's sick.
Yeah,
they're so good this expansion.
Yeah, especially in PvP too. Like I just don't die. Like I could do 2s in arena. Like my brother. God bless him, but he's terrible at the game. Let's just be honest. And he's a hunter.
Dude, anybody that doesn't play WoW has listened to this has no idea where we're at.
That's fine. Listen, I've talked about World of Warcraft on this more than you would probably
good.
More than you would gather. But
back at it again.
Yeah, no, well, I think it's cool because we're learning about you. You know, I think that people.
No, I'm not knocking it. I just think it's funny. It's like my parents used to always call it freaks talking gibberish.
Freaks talking gibberish.
But that was more reference towards Warhammer days. I played Warhammer for a little bit.
Yeah, so I actually listened to a brief, like a little bit of a podcast that you were on, Warship and Nerds or something like that. I believe it was you were really talking. about that kind of stuff.
So that's we call him Ricky, but his name's Michael Martin.
Yeah, he used to be in Iwabo and stuff, right? Yeah,
Courtney's old band.
Yep. Yeah, it's really interesting how everything kind of connects.
Everything's connected. It's creepy.
But yeah. But no, man, we'll have to. We can get off WoW now, but I'll just say like we'll have to. Hopefully, if you want to get back into classic Burning Crusade with the 58 boost, we'll have to link up and we could get
I would gladly pay $60 not to have to level.
Yeah,
or whatever it's going to cost.
Right. Yeah. No, leveling does suck, man. I mean, it really does. But I'm worried about the bots. That's the only thing that I'm worried about. But anyway, I digress. So. It's cool that it's really cool to figure out what people are into though, because obviously we know you from ERRA and stuff like that, but it's just cool to learn a little bit more about what JT does in his spare time, so to speak. But
a lot of gaming, a lot of building, like for instance, it's mirrored.
Yeah, the tree house. Yeah,
I built this.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, I'm not like a master carpenter. I've always worked in jobs before restaurants that involved using tons of tools. I worked for a marina for 8 years in Annapolis, and my father was very handy, so he taught me a lot of things.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm also very stubborn, so that also helps.
Well, when I was a teenager, I used to pave driveways like with my grandfather.
Yeah, I did a little bit of concrete.
Yeah, but I suck with my hand. I'm gonna be honest. I can't build shit. I mean, it's bad. My girlfriend builds stuff way better than I do.
Shaky hands.
What?
I don't have a steady hand. Like I could never be a doctor.
Oh yeah, actually, do I have shaky hands? Probably. But no, like IKEA furniture is about where I max out at. Yeah, IKEA, with very loose instructions about where I max out at with building.
Oh, that shit's garbage.
Yeah, it is. But no, Adam's the I guess to use your word, the dad of the band, because he'll hook up the trail. I don't know anything about that stuff. I'm like just do it.
That's me.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that. I'm very
trailer maintenance, engine maintenance, all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know a damn thing. But okay, so now you've been very gracious with your time, but we'll wrap you up here because these tend to go on for a while.
I talk too much, so it's fine.
Yeah, people say that, but I know that I don't shut up, so I understand. But so okay, so this most recent record where you've turned me, as you like to call it, you've turned me. Was that kind of because I guess the thing is that from me listening to ERRA, this is definitely the most accessible music you guys have. 100%. I mean, that's not even a question.
I want to go back to the band's band thing. I want to see if we're at the same level.
Okay.
When I think of band's band, and the reason it becomes a band's band is because I think it's a mixture of technicality and like eclecticness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's actually tons of pop and mainstream influence in our music, especially in melody writing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go out of it and there's like a 4/5 riff or a 4/3 riff or whatever.
Sure.
So, and like transitions that you don't expect happen like in a calculated, like mathematically time signature correct way, but it doesn't hit a listener like a classic 4/4 part would. And I don't know, it's very old ERRA is very brainy.
It is, and I think that's obviously a big reason why Adam loves it, because he's really, I mean, he plays the headless Kiesel, so I mean that says it all right there. I mean he's a you
can't pick scrape, you can't do the intro for Counting Worms by Knock Loose.
I know that's the biggest disappointment.
Not pick scrape, but just the little ding, 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 ding,
yeah, the little thing at the edge,
past the nut.
Yeah, I guess for me, man, and another band, and listen, I've never talked to these guys, and I'm sure they're awesome dudes, and you probably know who they are. Invent Animate has been a band that I've always struggled to listen to, but I'm sure they're very nice people. It's just, I think what happens is that it can get, I'm trying to think of a word for me, like how I interpret it is like wispy. You know what I mean? Like it can kind of get like
like too ethereal.
I guess, but like, yeah, I guess that's a kind of a good way to put it. I just really like jump from the gun, jump in, boom, get in, get out. I mean, that's just kind of how I've always ingested music. I could definitely appreciate a lot of the different elements. Like, I mean, you could put an ERRA song on for me. I'd be like, yeah, Jesse's an insane guitar player. I mean, like I'm not going to be like,
yeah, you're cultured.
Yeah, I'm from New Hampshire. We're very educated. I have a college degree. I'm very educated. But I think he has a great voice. It was just, for some reason, that it's just a sonic thing, like how I listen to music. Whereas I'm not like a guitar player. Whereas you have background in guitar. I'm not at all. So I can't get to that next level of outside of like, yeah, that's really cool. There's talent there. And then get into that next level of like, oh, I understand what's happening here. That's cool on a different level beyond just what I'm hearing.
It's like this, like having the vibe listening between Amir and Meshuggah.
Yep.
Both heavy bands, but they're heavy for way different reasons.
Yes. They both do have lots of zeros, which
yes, and that makes it even more interesting how they're very received very differently too. I mean, the vocals are very hard contrast as well, but I don't know. Like at its core, it's like they're basically the same band.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know that Frankie does a lot of like the spoken word stuff, which I love that stuff. I mean, I really
big stylistic differences, but yeah. From the same father.
Yes, yeah, no, for sure. And I think Meshuggah is a great band, and it is interesting how all that happens. And but yeah, so I guess with this self-titled album, did you guys kind of approach it in a way of like, all right, we've been the band's band now for a little while. Was the accessibility factor kind of at the forefront, or did that kind of naturally happen?
We joked about like the whole we don't have enough t-shirt lyrics or like mosh calls, but then we realized like we were able to do that. I don't want to say appropriately, but like kind of like methodically. Like I feel like we didn't sacrifice elements of our band to have more accessible music. I feel like we just added to it, but we use like a different I don't know. It's because I think at its core, like ERRA hasn't really changed much, but we just like, scoop the mids a little here, or like and push the EQ a little bit there, and it sounds like it sounds different now, but it's like still from the same source. There's definitely like a lot of classic song structure on these songs, a lot of hooky choruses. Me having more presence with like singing allows like that variety. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me more. I'm kind of biased because I'm in the band.
Well, so
and the changes blur to me too as well.
Yeah. So again, I'm not the biggest ERRA savant,
but there was a a sort of like a. We need to have some sort of accessibility on some of these songs, like more conscientious of it.
I got you. I guess, would you say, and I guess, like you said, probably, from a person who's listening to it, far less times. I'm sure you've heard all these songs 100,000 times a piece. But would you say that this record was probably, in more songs than not, more vocally driven?
If you broke down the actual song time, I think it would be even.
Interesting. Okay.
Like as much as like maybe I'm wrong.
Because I'm trying to think of like my listening habits, and like Scorpion Hymn is probably Scorpion Hymn is definitely, I think, probably more vocally driven. Would that be fair to say?
I like when songs breathe instrumentally, but I guess there is a lot of vocal emphasis on this record in particular. It was easier to write on like the verse sections because I feel like on fewer songs, the vocals weren't sitting on top of a crazy guitar riff.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely some riffing, but like the sections that have riffing breathe a little better on this record, especially like in Gungrave at the end, or like the parts of Snowblood there's several like dynamic guitar changes in those songs. I don't know. I think we've also found like a formula that works with our vocal styles to the music, and we're just constantly fine tuning it. So I think something just kind of clicked in that category. Like we really focused on our strong suits and then added some on top.
Yeah, well, so Gungrave is a song that it's actually kind of funny when I look back at like some of the songs that we've reacted to, and like my opinions will change, obviously, like anybody, because the part of doing that is like it's the first listen, and you kind of on the spot, you know, seconds after of like what to come up with. But you know, it is what it is. And Gungrave is a song that I did not give enough credit to the first time around, and I'll be totally transparent about that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot more listening to it now,
but it's more rewarding when you like it more later too.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it just takes a minute. I know I've had many bands like that I've listened to, but Electric Twilight, though, which you said you were surprised that I liked that song.
It's a weird one, you know. It's in this like one mode that when Jesse knows he's gonna write the song in that mode, that's gonna like hit the ear different, you know. Lunar Halo and Electric Twilight are in the mode, and then there's what the fuck is that song called? Hyper Reality from Neon is also
okay.
I call it the Egyptian mode.
To me it sounded like one of those flutes that they use to get the snake
Jesse would
out of
be
the
mad
jaws.
if he heard me say that to him, but that's what I call it.
The Egyptian mode.
No, he fucking hates when I say that.
It
doesn't sound Egyptian. It's just like out there. I don't know.
It does kind of sound like those guys who use like that little flute
didgeridoo.
Yeah, to get the snake. To get the snake out of the jar or whatever. And that riff. Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm
like
a sucker. Oboe. Yeah. But like those riffs like that, like Holy Roller by Spirit Box, obviously it's kind of a, you know. Yeah, I
so catchy.
Love
it's
that.
So annoying.
I know. I love
always
that.
stuck in my head.
I know. But yeah, that Electric Twilight riff, I was just like, as soon as I heard that, I think I actually may have went back in the song to listen to it again while I was reacting to it, because I was like, damn, that's like...
You did. I remember that, actually.
You watch these pretty closely.
I told you, I watch all of them.
Interesting.
I search once a week for the phrase error reaction, and I look at everything in there.
Interesting. Is there any...
Because my vanity knows no bounds, I guess.
Well, has there been any reactions that you've walked away from, like, screw that? You don't have to name it, obviously, but, like, screw that guy. Like, anything like that? Or is everybody's kind of positive about it? Or?
There is one. I forget. I think it was a full album stream. I didn't have to have a form opinion because I just read the comments, and the comments, like, were, like... The comments trashed this video. They were like, you guys don't get this at all. Like, why are you even reacting to this if you don't like it? All the comments were unanimous, and I was like, all right, well then my feelings on this video are justified.
Yeah, they've done the job for you.
They didn't like anything about it, and I'm like, why are they doing the whole reaction if they don't like it?
Interesting.
They weren't like mean about it. They just didn't like it. I'm like. And then the things I did like, it just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, this is a bad reaction. It's not a good reaction.
Yeah, I think because obviously it's kind of an interesting territory that we're in, only because we're a band and also doing reactions. So, you know, we try not to be, because we might run into some of these people someday. And like, I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't say straight up, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to, you know, whatever, but
you're also not going to post a reaction to a song that you just don't like. It's just like not good content too.
Yeah, well, I will say there's definitely been some, like, I guess, meme reactions where like we'll do like
that's one thing. Yeah, like
if a 9-minute song happens, I just like kind of go off on a tirade. I'm like, this is ridiculous, a 9-minute track, what's going on here? But
yeah,
I definitely like the closer to 2 minutes, but anyway,
you're doing some music news, you're doing, you know, you're you're doing the reaction thing too. Like you can't. It's not guaranteed that you're gonna like everything you react to. But
yeah, of course.
you're at least cultured enough to find things to talk about positively, and even if you have to say like not really my thing, but like I do like this.
Yeah, I mean, I always give credit to the talent. It's just like for me, man, I cannot listen to music that's 9 minutes. It's very difficult for me. I'm very all over the place, as you've probably gathered from talking to me on this podcast here. I'm very animated or whatever, but I just kind of, ADD, I guess. But yeah, you have to tell me off air who you talk, because I can't think of who wouldn't like it. I mean, because I think that ERRA, this record especially, has been pretty positively received.
It wasn't a big channel. It was like, I don't know. It wasn't a channel you probably know about.
Oh, okay, because yeah,
It was just a random one from like 2 weeks ago. I was like, why does this exist?
Yeah. But I mean, listen, I guess the other thing too we could also touch on is the Spotify numbers for ERRA kind of went up a lot this last record cycle. I mean, a lot.
I like that.
Because I could be wrong. Because I now correct me if I'm wrong. You will know better than I do. But before this record, you guys were around like the 100-something thousand. Is that right?
We were around 300K.
Oh, were you? Okay. Well, I tried to get
doubled.
Yeah. No, I mean, still, no. That's I'm just like I said, I couldn't remember exactly, but because I remember Eye of God.
I think
was
we're back
really,
under 6 now.
Yeah, but you're still
little bit
at
of flare is worn off.
You're still yeah, exactly. You're still at a lot though. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's like a lot. So
550. That's still great.
I mean, so do you ever like kind of? I mean, obviously, you're not gonna be like, yeah, we're at 550. Yeah, we're the shit. But like, are you kind of like, damn, like that's a lot of people.
Here's my thing on metrics, especially now.
Yeah.
Everybody is listening to more music right now. It's benefited everybody. Everybody's Spotify numbers up because of COVID. It's cool. What we are missing out on did I say that right? What we are missing out on is the reaction of new content in a live setting. Like we don't get to play that new single live and see the physical reaction from the crowd or at the merch table or whatever. So all we have are the metrics, which is good and bad because the metrics are really good. But if our shows aren't better than they were before, I don't give a fuck about the numbers. I want people at the shows. I want people to come and like participate and scream because that's like the other half of the job.
Yeah,
it does help. Like promoters want to give us money or book us shows. They want to see our numbers. They want to see good following and interaction. But there's so many bands with like lower numbers that have great live interaction and sell like 2-3 times the amount of merch we do.
Yep.
It's kind of weird. It depends on the band and the scenario. Some bands have a really strong online presence, but like okay, like show attendance. So I'm hoping the growth in Spotify numbers matches our show attendance because our show attendance has been great. And I always feel like the Spotify numbers didn't match the show attendance.
Yeah, well, I think that these songs, I think are gonna perform. I'm telling you, man, when that riff in Electric Twilight hits live, there's gonna be people dancing. They're not gonna be moshing.
Fighting over the set list. I don't know what to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely. You got to play Scorpion Hymn. I mean, yeah, you got. I mean, that's got. I want
to play Scorpion Hymn for me, but
I mean, that's got to be a staple.
I do want to hear Electric Twilight too, yeah, and I want to hear Vanished Canvas. And some of these songs have a shitload of Jesse, so I'll be chilling.
Well, so that must be nice, though. I mean, especially going from Texas in July to ERRA, it's like now you got somebody to help out on those duties, and you can kind of take a little bit of a breather.
I'm gonna be doing a lot of some harmonies live. We're gonna have to have like a sit down to decide like what we're gonna do because I'm gonna need his help on some stuff too, like just for like parts that carry over, just for like continuity. We'll have to find out what works the best in a live scenario. So I'll be working out those kinks. But yeah, I'll try to stay busy up there. I don't know if you know this, but I've taken the camera I'm using right now. I've taken the camera on stage and taken photos for the band during our set.
So that actually kind of ties into something that Adam also wanted me to ask you about. You did photography for As They Lay Dying. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did photo and video. I shot the footage and then they edited it. I didn't do any edits.
Interesting. So you're a man of many talents. That's what I'm hearing?
Sure. I'm a tech lord, so anything that has a microchip in it, I'm all over.
Interesting. What was that like? Because obviously, As I Lay Dying I have a tattoo of an album of theirs on me, so I love As I Lay Dying.
Well, do you want to hear a really funny story?
Absolutely, JT. Of course.
I don't even know if I can tell the story, but I'm going to tell it anyways.
Let's go. All right. This is just between you and me, by the way. You don't have to worry.
Even if they see this, they're gonna get it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you're moving up.
We almost didn't take that tour for obvious reasons. We weren't sure how it was going to go.
Sure. Yeah.
But my thing is like, this is how I see it. If our justice system can't put somebody through the justice system and have them get out and have their time served and their slate wiped clean enough, then what is the point?
I mean, I totally agree with you.
You can crucify this guy forever if you want, but like that doesn't do anybody any good. Right. He's actually trying to like improve and get better. And you can choose not to believe him or not, but like, dude, when I finally met the guy, I was like, there's no way he did any of these things. No fucking way. He might have. He probably did. I don't know. He's like the nicest person I've ever fucking met.
Well, substances probably contributed heavily. You know what I mean? But yeah.
And not to discredit him, we do see where we see what they want to show us. That's for everybody.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's not like a shitty guy behind closed doors. I don't think he is though. Like I've spent 2 weeks with him, and honestly, they're all angels. That was a really fun tour, and just cool to do because of how long I've been into metalcore, and how much like early records like Shadows Are Security from 2005, like were influence on me as a person and a musician.
Yeah.
But here's the story.
Okay.
This is fucked up.
Let me strap in real quick. All right, here we go.
So, this is a great story, I think. 2 days in, Tim and I are outside after the show. I think we just played the Netherlands.
Okay.
And no, Milk Creek. Somewhere around Germany. Okay. It wasn't Germany. Maybe it was. Who fucking knows? We're in Europe, and second day, and he's outside. We're all kind of like chilling by the bus, in and out, and drinking beer, just like getting to know everybody. So I'm outside with Tim. He's like, "Hey, I wanted to ask you guys something, like run something by you guys." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, what's up?" He goes, "I wanted to know if it would be cool for like a few days if my lady," I don't know how he phrased it. He like said his lady to come on the bus with us. And I hesitated for a while because I don't know anything about Tim, and I didn't know that he remarried. So I thought he was asking to bring the original woman on the bus.
Okay.
So I go, I don't know, man. Like,
oh no,
is that gonna be okay? He's like, yeah, I don't see, like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude,
no.
Are you guys like good? He's like, what? I'm like, he's like, wait, you know I remarried, right? And I was like, oh, thank God. And he's like, no. He realized what I was saying. We both started laughing so hard.
Oh,
and I was like, bro, I'm like, can you imagine? He's like, yeah, no, that would never happen. I was like, well, I hope not. So he was like, I'm like, yeah, bring who the fuck ever. Like, as long as it's not her, I don't want that dynamic on our bus.
Jesus.
So that was, and that is one of my manager's favorite stories to tell about me because of how much of an idiot I am. And I've told that story to a lot of people in like our circle, like in extended like band circles, and they think that story is so funny at my expense. I just felt like such an idiot. I didn't know. I had no idea.
No, well, yeah, but that is like, I have the ultimate secondhand embarrassment.
You should see my face, dude.
Oh, but dude,
you should have seen my face.
The blood must have just
I was like, I can't believe he's fucking asking me this because I didn't know better.
Yeah.
So
damn.
So,
dude, but no, man, it's what you said before.
Yeah. His new wife is rules, Amanda. She's great.
Yeah, and listen, I've obviously never spoken to Tim in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But that band is really the reason why I got into metalcore. And I was actually supposed to see them. We have a venue here, the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom here in New Hampshire, and they were supposed to play that venue with Kill Switch and Darkest Hour, and with that tour. And obviously everything went down. I think like literally like days before.
Damn.
And it was just like, I mean, that one was something that I took really, really tough because obviously I love that band. I literally have I have the Powerless Rise album tattooed on me.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That intro song is so good.
Dude, I absolutely love that record. It's so good. Like I know that's not one of the ones that gets talked about by them the most, but I love that album.
I love that record too.
Yeah.
Good album. 2011, I think.
Yep, I believe so. And it's a really cool tattoo. It's very red. It's very, 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 very red.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one hurt like a bastard to get done.
I would, but if I did get it as a dying tattoo, it would probably be the moon from Shadows of
Security.
Sure.
Yeah.
A pretty iconic one.
Yeah, but no, man, that must have been really cool to go on tour with a band. Like, obviously, you know, everything's kind of happened, and I think I really respect your opinion on like how you approach it, because I know a lot of people still, you know, don't, and that it's anybody's prerogative.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm assuming that it's gonna be a pretty 50-50 split. I've also never been a person to have an issue separating art from the artist. Like I've always been able to do that. There's plenty of terrible humans out there with amazing art. Yeah, I'm not saying Tim is one.
Right.
I'm just saying that I wasn't affected by it, and I'm not gonna knock you if you can't support that. Like I totally get it.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I've definitely been someone who can separate the two as well, because it's tough, man. It's like you really enjoy something, and then it's like watching any like movie, or you know, in our case, World of Warcraft. You know, it's like, what are you gonna stop playing?
A good movie. I liked the movie.
Yeah. Oh, you did. Interesting.
I did.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
you did.
Maybe I have a different opinion of you now. No.
I didn't expect it to be Lord of the Rings. Like it's not an epic. You know, it's like it's epic for the gamers, but it's not like a AAA movie.
No, but it was cool to have that moment.
It was special for the people that have been around since the beginning, I feel like.
I would agree with you in that respect. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely not like Lord of the Rings or anything. I wish that they would expand upon it and like do more with that. But yeah, man.
Like Gul'dan's such a fucking badass character in that movie. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I know that recently the voice actor for Kael'thas got let go. I don't know if you saw anything about that.
I didn't.
Yeah, I guess, you know, there was some sort of accusations towards him, and he was found.
I didn't realize how much of his presence would be in Shadowlands also.
Yeah, that is interesting. But obviously with Burning Crusade coming back, I was like, oh wow, like, because obviously he's a big character in there as well.
Wait, are you saying was he present in the movie? I don't remember. Yeah, he was.
I believe so.
Are you talking about the voice actor for the movie or the voice actor for the video game?
Voice actor for the video game. Yeah.
Oh, that's even bigger.
Yeah. So I guess.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, there was. I guess. I was watching a video about it today. There was, you know, some accusations, but he was found not guilty, like in a court of law.
Oh, like you're talking about like cancel culture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and which, I mean, that's probably a conversation we could have another time.
I don't want to go down the cancel culture.
No, we definitely don't. No, I'm saying
it'll be so long.
No, that's a conversation for off stream, so to speak.
It's exhausting, honestly.
Yeah, no, I would agree. But listen, man, I've had a great time talking to you. I've taken up a lot of your time, and I could probably go even longer. Chilling. But I guess
I'm just hungry now.
No, I totally get that. But I'm going to use these last few moments here to be a little selfish, if you don't mind, because you are somebody. Well, because you're somebody I really respect guys like you, and I've been the guy. I've paid. I know that like Ryan Kirby, when they were on tour, he did like a thing where you could, you know, do like a kind of like a VIP thing and like ask band business related questions and stuff like that. And I'm always interested in that stuff. And I think the one thing that I would like to talk to you about is because as my band were developing, so to speak, and we're kind of getting into a phase now where I think hopefully we'll start to eventually do some touring a little bit. I mean, I would love to. I love my local area, but I kind of, I want to play somewhere else too.
Yeah.
So I guess like some general tip, because I've never done it before. I've never.
I have a good one for you.
Yeah.
Something we tried this record cycle, which I think has paid off like hugely, was I'm not saying you have to do this. You can do this in-house, but we hired a creative director.
Interesting.
And he was a friend, and he does work. His like resume is kind of out of control, but and he hasn't done a lot of like metal band work, but his creative work was good, and he has a good brain. And sorry, my roommate, he made dinner for me.
What a nice guy.
He's a great guy. Now I feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
But okay, so we have a creative director, and we chose a color palette. We chose symbols, a new logo. Like we focus very hard on our aesthetic for our music videos with outfits and like a dress code, and we'll be carrying that out on stage as well, I'm sure. But we realized how important all the other things other than the music that we weren't doing. So having a strong social media presence for everyone, doing merch drops, doing playthroughs and content videos, stepping up our music videos in general. Like at its core, you need to write good music, which you're obviously clearly doing a great job so far. I mean, I think so.
I mean, if you like it, I really do appreciate it. I mean, those are the types of comments that I put up. I mean, I just really respect that.
I feel like that's the hard part. Like, I don't think that's you don't have to worry about that. It's everything else. It's like all the business shit that's the hard part. Mm-hmm. Having a good team, getting the right booking agent for the right tours and shows, somebody willing to stick their neck out to give you guys an opportunity. Like that actually can be the hard part too. Finding people to like really support you and back you. We've been with the same crew for quite a while, so we have a pretty solid relationship with them now. And so yeah, like not being afraid to like outsource for help. Like none of us have like too much pride, and we want the best overall product that we can afford.
Right.
So bringing people into our team, and like the engagement is everything. Like that's why I'm so present everywhere, like and accessible, because I want people to like realize that we're not like some cocky musicians on a pedestal you can't reach. Like we're normal ass people trying to make it with our careers and write good music, but we also have very normal qualities. Like I'm really no different from me and you.
Then that's part of the reason why we started doing the reaction videos. So I was like, we got to do something that's different.
Dude, that's great. You're gonna get so much traction for your band because of that. Like anywhere you can like sprinkle in. Yeah. That's why I love podcasts. Like it's almost selfish for me because I'm getting free promotion just because I'm doing this with you.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it's also it's kind of a two-way street in that way.
It's a beautiful relationship. Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's also just really cool to talk to you rather than through the TrueShot official Twitch account. You know what I mean?
I assume it's you every time, but I'm never sure. Okay,
those guys don't know how to operate. You know what I mean? They don't know, but no, they do. But that's kind of the joke. But yeah,
that can be a scary thing though. Like everybody needs to be a participant in that. And obviously some of us have better social media presence in the band than others, but like the more people, that's just all feelers going out to like whether it's one or two people, like it still matters. All that shit matters.
No, for sure. And
initial impressions are everything, I'm sure you know.
Yeah, and I definitely, for me, because Adam obviously plays the guitar, he writes the majority of like the instrumentals and stuff like that. So I definitely shoulder the burden. I don't want to say the burden, that's a bad word, but like the creative, like the aesthetic and the presence and stuff like that. That's really like my area, and I definitely try my. It's a lot for one person to kind of handle. It's a lot.
Marketing. If you had a marketing degree, you'd be much better off in a band.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% for sure. And then I know that
a lot of marketing.
I'll let you go eat. I just want to ask one more thing. So as far as for touring, Like, what's a good tip for me for touring? Because it's a lot different than playing a one-off or a two-off shows in the local area. You know what I mean? I can respect
touring
that.
tips. I mean, I could tell you. Are you saying like literally, what do you carry on your back, or like mindset?
I guess mindset and just, obviously us doing vocals, it's a little bit different than, playing bass. It's our throat, and it's a very fragile instrument, JT. So I guess kind of approaching, being on the road for, a lot of time at a time, and, with voice and stuff like that.
You just got to treat it like, that sounds stupid. You got to treat it like performance. But what I mean like that is you have to do the things that you feel like your body needs for you to do the job the best. So that's like getting sleep, staying hydrated, being well fed, or as well fed as you can be on tour. Sometimes you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Just like treating it, you have to treat it like a job, because if you are touring, then there is a goal in mind, and whether if it's more of like a loose or a strict goal, it's still at the end of the day, it's still pretty much a job. Like, you're the one driving early on. I've sold merch at the merch table for plenty of shows over the years. It's not like you hit the road and now you're a rock star. Like, you're grinding for a while.
Yeah.
And that's not to discourage you, but just know that, like, this stuff doesn't come overnight, and it requires work. And the more attention you put to the work, with more like putting 100% into all the stuff that you do, the more you're going to see it. And I think that's kind of why what happened at Texas in July is, like, I started to notice, like, the attention just wasn't there. Like, they thought the music was going to be enough, and it wasn't.
Right.
And that can happen. And when you recognize that, or if the music is enough and you adding all this other shit on top, you're just going to make your band grow faster.
Yeah, no, I definitely know that it's not the music's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
I definitely can understand and appreciate that. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, because obviously we're not
camping.
Signed. Yeah,
It's literally camping in a van with your friends. Like, if you can do that, you're golden.
Cool.
If you don't have like claustrophobia, and you're cool with sleeping on a homemade bench in a back of a van, or like the actual row. If you have sleeping problems,
I'm down with that.
Jeez.
Yeah, that would be tough.
You'll be tired for a month for sure.
Yeah, no, but because obviously we're not signed or anything like that. So like,
it's not great on your back.
No, yeah, my back does hurt now that you mentioned that. But but listen, man, I had a really great time talking to you, and man, listen, I'm gonna have to. I'm throwing this out into the universe. Hopefully, one day our paths cross, because it would be an honor and a privilege to open up for me, a newly converted ERRA fan. You know what I mean? Newly converted ERRA fan. That would be.
I'm gonna harass the shit out of you and make you play video games with me on tour.
I'm down, man. Listen,
laptop set up, every green room, always.
Yep, and we'll just we'll be I don't know, who knows what it'll be.
We'll have our own office.
Yeah,
the gamer lounge.
Yeah, we'll finally
that'd be a cool VIP package.
Well, so yeah, speaking of the VIP package,
do threes.
Oh my God!
You pay $75, you get a ticket, a poster, meet and greet, and then you do some threes with me and you in arena.
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome. I've also thought of like having people do reaction videos with us live. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that actually would be cool. That's not a bad idea.
Interesting. We did that for a little bit. Like, we had people like who bought merch. They would come on like on a Monday night with us, and they would present a song to us, and we would do it over Skype. But it's a little scuffed over Skype.
Yeah, kind of hard to line up all three of those things.
Yeah, it's not really the same. But no, man, that'd be awesome. I hope that we can talk again sometime. And listen, I'll say bye to you off there. I know that you got to go eat. I hate to keep. I know that's in the back of my mind. I don't want to keep you from that.
Are we off air right now?
Not yet. Well, we are, right? Oh. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the TrueShot Guest Spot Podcast with JT Cavey of ERRA. If you listen to this on YouTube, leave us a like, leave us a comment, sub, all that good stuff. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, 5 stars, please, or else. And if you're on Spotify, make sure you share this to your Instagram story and tag me, tag the band TrueShot, tag JT, tag ERRA, and let's spread this around, man. I think this was a really, really cool chat. And, about, like I said, close to 2 hours with JT. So that's really, really cool. Anyways, till the next episode, Peace.